right, everybody, it's another Wednesday, which means it's another Ask Me Anything happy hour. We're pumped to be here. We got a little bit of a smaller group because everybody's traveling right now, which me and Steven also get on planes tomorrow morning, but we are here and we are ready to answer your questions. So I hope all of you have questions, but we'll be right back after this. All right. Well, that was quick. We're back at it with another Ask Me Anything happy hour where we are ready to answer your questions. So hopefully you can all bring the heat. But let's just start with a little go around here with who we got. So, Steven, you want to start with you? Nobody's got fancy names today. You guys are getting lazy on the names. Steven's name today should be
Yeah, maybe we'll do some nicknames. We'll see how today goes. But yeah, so headed to Canada tomorrow, to Vancouver. So super pumped about that. Never been up that way. It looks like beautiful country. So just kind of getting ready for that and tying up some loose ends before the long travel day out there from the bottom of the U.S. up to the top of the west coast of Canada. So long travel day, but hopefully it goes smoothly and all goes well. So hanging out with Lafayette Life Insurance Company. Chris, I know you're headed to Bahamas with One America. So we're going to learn from the CEOs and the economists and our annual trip where we kind of learn about what the insurance companies are up to, what their outlooks are on the economy, what they expect to be happening, what they're doing to manage their businesses to make sure we all get those increased dividends every year and our policies keep compounding tax-free beautifully. So that's what it's all about. Outside of that, we had a successful 3-day Money School Essentials training this past weekend. I know a lot of you were on there. It was awesome. We had some crazy. I was writing up the recap email for it yesterday, and it just felt like I had so many opportunities and experts, and trying to recap and connect everybody. So I think it went really awesome. If you missed that, we have the recordings. Actually, a big sale on the recordings. So if you want to check that out, I can post the link. But we do have the recordings, so you guys can go back if you happen to miss that. Over the weekend, we recorded the whole thing and put it all together for you in a cool little recording package. So ask us for that if you want that. And otherwise, it's a beautiful day here in South Florida.
Yeah, I'm excited. Get to go to the Bahamas. Not just excited because it's the Bahamas. I mean, I looked at the forecast. It literally rains every day I'm there. Such is my luck. But the important thing is we get to go out and we get to talk to the CEO and we get to talk to the president of this giant mutually owned insurance company. We also get to talk to their chief financial officer and their investment team to kind of figure out, like, what are they looking at? What are they seeing coming? I know last year when we went to the meetings, they saw the same things we did. We'll see if it's still the same now, if they still think that, the worst is still in front of us, which I'm telling you it is. But I love it because it just opens your eyes. You get around some really smart people and you get to ask the really hard questions that normally you won't get answers to. So getting excited to go. Craig?
All right. Down in the lower left. Yeah, so Chris and Steven, you'll have to give us an update when you get back. Love to hear what's going on with the inside scoop. And while you're gone, just know that Sean and I will be here holding down the fort. We're going to be in the foxhole. We're going to be taking care of things. So it's all going to be good.
Foxhole.
Yes.
And Sean.
And then I'm just here. I just got back from Utah, came back to some wild smoke in the air from the Canada wildfires, which is just bizarre to me. It is crazy. It's like it straight up smells like a campfire outside.
And it looks like one.
Has that ever happened?
No, I have never experienced this before, and I feel like I can't imagine what it must be like in other places. Like it's so weird.
Yeah.
Not only is it weird, it's like I've been watching a couple videos and like, not to get into this because it's not WTF,
right,
but like how in the world. Like there's video surveillance from satellites showing every one of those fires starting at the exact same time. Please explain to me, Smokey the Bear, or whatever your name is. How does that happen? Does everybody just drop a match at the exact same time? Like literally synchronized? It's like synchronized swimming. It's like 1, 2, drop. Please.
It's like the end of Fight Club. You're always talking about Fight Club. You know, the end where they blow up the city and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
goes. And I don't know, man.
I don't know. It makes me
Goes here from the car.
not because of the
Hey,
smoke
Joe.
or what it smells like or the fog, but like how many of those animals are going to get burned up and how many animals are going to not have homes anymore? I'm just all about the critters. All right, Joe, you're up. You're up.
I'm up. I was just doing an in-person strategy call and
Wow.
went a little over, so ended up in the truck and gonna do this and then hop back in and continue.
How long does over mean for you?
How long does what?
How long does over mean for you?
Stop
2
picking
hours.
on me.
What time did you get there? Just kidding.
I'm not telling you.
It's like I've been there since breakfast.
I got there at 8:30 this morning. Just finished
Listen,
now.
Okay, all right. So I started.
Oh, but we got another appointment set up to go through the details. Don't worry.
Actually, I did. I had an in-person. I did a HELOC call with the bank, and now I'm going to do Ask Me Anything. I'm going to go back in, and then I'm going to finish.
Oh God.
Oh,
Okay, we're gonna get into these 2 questions. Then you guys gotta put some more questions in. So, Ron's asking if you should read "Mapping Out the Millionaire Mystery" before scheduling his call. He's working on his budget now.
I would say either read the book or watch the 90-minute video or do both before scheduling a call. Yeah, that would help you a lot. It'll
But
make your call a lot more productive.
working on the budget's pretty good too, because we kind of went over that today on the Wealth Wednesday webinar. It'll give you a good direction of what your bank starting point should be, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
everything we covered in Wealth webinar today.
I do have a pre-submitted question I want to get to.
Okay, go ahead.
Real
Yeah, hit
fast. So Gabby sent this over, and maybe Ron can give me the cliff notes on that book too, right, Joe? All right. So this was sent over from Larry H. Larry H says, on your YouTube video, alternative investment strategies to protect and grow your wealth, you show how your protection structure was set up at 1 hour and 14 minutes. You go on to show how you've reorganized and structured. Now you own only 1% of each of your LLC C Corps, and the other 99% is owned by your operating company. Why did you retain only 1%? What's the reason or advantage of keeping 1% of each of those businesses? And then he said, my wife and I have our holding company owning and controlling each of our LLCs. For anonymity, we are not listed publicly on any of the LLCs.
So the reasoning, and just properly clarify, so those entities that you're talking about, they're not C Corps. They're all LLCs, partnership LLCs, actually. The reason to have 1% ownership is really a liability thing. If I only own 1% of those and my operating company owns 99%, but my operating company owns nothing internally, then I have zero liability. So all the companies, I have a 1% liability. That's it. Okay. Because everything flows to the operating company, which owns 99% of all my entities. That operating company owns nothing. And then that operating company it pretty much just has revenue from all the entities come through it. I take a salary from that company on a monthly basis. Everything else that flows into that entity company then flows to the business trust. Then that's set up for the benefit of the family trust. And then that's set up for the benefit of the foundation. So it's a waterfall. Everything flows from operating company to business trust, flows to the family trust, flows to the foundation. So it's what you've all heard. It's own nothing, but control everything. I control the flow and I control every asset through the whole process, but I own nothing. Well, I own 1%. So that's the reasoning.
Cool. All right, that's all I had.
Hopefully that answers it.
Okay, so Philip Wells is asking. Okay, I don't know where to start here, but if the trust has an EIN, do the trusts have to file taxes, and do
Absolutely.
the trusts have tax liabilities for gains from the investments inside the trust, business or family?
See, I knew I shouldn't have done it in this office. I should have done it over with the whiteboard so I could just draw this out. But So, Philip, great question. Trusts, they are federal trusts. So, of course, they have an EIN number because they're irrevocable federal trusts, not statutory. So, they do file a tax return every single year. But remember, all of the revenue inside the trust would flow through to the next trust. And then eventually, whatever's left by the end of the year flows through and is donated to the foundation. So, if you really think about it, the taxes that you're filing on each of the trust, there's really nothing to file taxes on because the revenue that comes into the trust flows to the next trust. For example, if the business trust, if I make a loan to you, Philip, if my business trust loans you money from the policy that the business trust owns and operates, then you pay the business trust interest of 12%. Now, at the end of the year, if that money stayed in that business trust, yes, it would have to, they always will file a tax return. And yes, it would have to pay taxes on that, but that money doesn't stay in that trust. That money then flows down to the family trust. And then the family trust pays for my house, my maintenance in the house, private schooling, and anything that a family trust is allowed to do. So anything that the family trust has and that doesn't use that came down from the business trust would then be donated over to the foundation, which is 100% tax deduction because we're putting the money into a charitable foundation. So because of that, you're absolutely correct. They all do file tax returns, but the tax returns really don't, there's really nothing on them. I mean, in most cases, there wouldn't be anything on them. It would just all go right to the foundation. So you got it all correct. You're just missing the foundation piece.
There is one way that the business trust would be able to retain that money if there was no family trust or foundation, and that's with
Correct.
a policy.
That's correct.
If the policy was owned by the business trust, that extra 6,000 or 8,000, whatever you stated, would go into the policy and then be as corpus inside of the policy, and then it would be able to lend that back up to the business trust account and lend that back up to the LLC to operate as such. If you had the little structure compared to the big structure.
Right. Oh, you're muted, Shauna. I saw your lips flapping.
Janet O is saying, I am 69 years old. I have savings in a fund and it is very volatile in the stock market.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet.
What would you do to protect it from this crazy market? My husband and I are both retired.
Ooh.
Chris, would you like to take this one?
Yes, I would. So if it's already in a brokerage account, like if it's already, you're saying you're saving in a fund, I don't know what the fund is, but maybe if you just shift that fund over to treasury bonds, buy long-term treasury bonds, like 10 and 20 years, or sorry, 10 and 30 years. I mean, you can mix them up, or an ETF that owns long-term treasury bonds. You'll soften that volatility. You'll have very little volatility. You'll get paid a yield for owning the treasury bonds, and you'll capture this next rise up that when the market does go down, which you'll suffer dearly if you stay in the fund you're in when the market does its next leg down. But by going into treasury bonds, when the market goes down, after interest rates start to go back down, which markets will go down, interest rates will follow the markets down because that's what the Fed will do, then you'll make a bunch of money on it. So that would be a really good way to soften the volatility, to protect your wealth without having to do a whole lot of changes in what you're doing. And at 69, I know we're always talking about the policies and, the specially designed whole life, but one of the factors, would be your age in that. So if you were trying to insure yourself or get a policy yourself, it might not, what is that noise? It might not work quite as well.
It's Joe, I think.
But if you had somebody else that you could insure, like if somebody else could be the insured while you're the owner, that would be your first choice, Janet, is, you'd want to try to get it into a specially designed whole life. But I just think, for you at your age, and if your husband's around your age, it might not be the most efficient thing. That's why I started with the treasury bond. But I think the treasury bonds would be a really easy transition. What are
Joe,
you doing, Joe?
I'm muting you, Joe.
Are you like typing a text, or are you like
I don't know what
playing
he's
with
doing.
your
You're
phone?
muted, dude.
That's weird. All right. We'll unmute you when you have a question.
Okay.
Joe, we can't hear you.
Dorothy is saying, "Hi guys, great to be with you. I believe Craig discussed salvage every year, 6 months before policy renewal." I'm not sure what
I'm not sure what that means.
I'm not sure what that means either, but if I remember correctly, so okay, like let's use myself for example. My policy is in, I think it's like August or September, and I do it annually. Can I pay that like today? It's June. Am I allowed to do that now?
Not unless you change mode.
Okay. No, then I guess
You can't pay in advance. unless
you can't pay
choose.
in advance. Okay. All right. Philip again is saying, you might have done this already, but can you show how money flow would look like for you when you combine your whole life cash value and the trust structure?
Of course.
Okay.
That's easy. I just unfortunately or stupidly decided to sit here for Ask Me Anything in this studio when I should be down in the other one where I could actually have drawn that on the board. What the hell was I thinking? I was on my prior meeting in this one and I just thought, oh, well, let's just continue on this one. So unfortunately, I can't do it at this present point. And I apologize. But yes, we actually can show that very easily. It really wouldn't be the money flow really wouldn't be any different. It would just be inside the trust corpus. The trust would own a whole life. Like I'll give you an example. So right now in my family trust, I just started the process today. I'm starting a new policy inside the family trust. So the family trust will own it. The family trust will pay for it, and the family trust will be the beneficiary. So why am I starting a policy in the family trust? The sole reason for it is pretty soon in the next 12 months, me and my wife want to remodel our master bathroom. And I would need to save up money to pay for that remodel. Now, remember, my primary house is owned by my family trust. So if I want to remodel or I want to maintain my house, I mean, if the trust owns it, well, shouldn't the trust pay for the remodel? Of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a policy inside the family trust, which will then pay for the remodel whenever the money's there. And then the family trust will take a loan from the policy, pay for the remodel in the process. And then what will happen is we will then recycle and recapture money back into the policy as a loan repayment, all within the family trust. So when you talk about the flow of money is going to be identical to what we described earlier with, entities, operating company, family trust, or I'm sorry, business trust, family trust, foundation. But now within the family trust where I need money for this remodel to, on the bathroom, that's where the policy is going to be owned. So now all the money that goes into that policy gets to earn interest and dividends. And you know the rest. If I take a loan out to pay for the bathroom, I still earn interest and dividends. That's it. That's the difference with the flow. Joe, do you want to add to that? We can have the powers that be unmute you. Oh, you can do it.
No, that sounds awesome. That's exactly what I did, but I didn't put it into the family. I moved my policy into the business trust because I structured my policy for the borrowing aspect, for it going back to the LLC, making money and playing inside the business trust and the LLC. But no, absolutely, if you're going to do it with the family house, that's the absolute way to do it.
Yeah, and that was just the need that I had. Remember, this is my first year with the trust structure groups. So, I haven't evolved into my family or my business trust doing my lending and everything else yet. It will, but I'm just baby stepping. So the first need I have is, our bathroom desperately needs to be remodeled. So let's get a policy and get it funded for that.
We have no questions, but this person named Shauna Decker with a really cool name asked what's the discount code for the PMC Money Tank event happening August 4th and 5th in Raleigh, North Carolina? And the answer is PMC 300. You can go to privatemoneyclub.com/moneytank and go to a really cool event.
It will be a really cool event. But that's a great question. I'm glad that person asked that because
Yeah.
nobody else seems to be asking that question right now, but you need to be.
But I think we don't have any other questions yet, so throw them in.
I heard they can bring a guest too or something.
Oh, that's another question. Do you know, just to add on to that, I'd like to know, can you bring a spouse or a significant other?
I think I don't know if that's ready yet, but I think we're working towards that for sure.
Well, and what happens at this PMC Money Tank event?
A lot of people get together and share a lot of great ideas with one another, and a lot of transactions take place. The last one, some guy raised $450,000 just from coming to the event, and lots of other people got to make their money go to work.
Yeah, some of that money was from one of these guys on the screen.
The guy that was making all the noise earlier. What do we got?
Sorry, I'm doing a.
Oh, okay, I'll keep it going. Damon, how do I keep saying the name wrong? Nicolas. Is that right? Nicolas.
I feel like he's talking about this one time on like What the F Happened a few weeks ago. You were ripping someone named Nicholas apart, but maybe that's just where my head's going.
I rip a lot of people apart on W. I physically today had to put TikTok in timeout. Like just couldn't do it. More styles of BYOB hats. Yeah, we got more styles of all BYOB gear coming out really soon. Steven's been working on that with Ted, and pretty soon we'll have a brand new platform, a brand new portal, and a whole bunch of new swag on there. Did I say it wrong again? Ted?
No, it's Ted. Ted is a funny guy.
Oh, I got it right. See?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, I'm back. I had to
All right.
pay a bill before something stopped working for us. Hello.
And Negagon.
And Negagon. We lost Joe. We lost Neg. Joe must have got mad that he was making too much noise.
I think I watch you all more than Netflix now.
Alan, you should tell Netflix that they should give us a show.
There you go.
We're working on it. We're working on our Netflix documentary. Just you wait. Actually, we don't know what it should be about, so give us some pointers.
Well, no. Get this. Like I was watching. I looked at the TV last night, and something came on. Hold on. Let me ask.
We could have Dave Ramsey on for the drama aspect of our show.
Yeah, it would, Alan. It's just going to take a little bit of time. I mean, a big network like that definitely doesn't move quick. I think he's asking Siri or Alexa.
So there was like on one of those like Bravo networks or something, it was talking about like all these wacky Wednesday shows with all these idiots getting drunk and like partying and all this stuff. And they were talking about how they had like, I forget what they called it. It's something Wednesday where it had like all these shows back to back. And I was like, F those people. I was like, I love my Wealth Webinar Wednesday people and all our Wednesday shows we do. I was like, those are the kind of people I want to hang out with, not these wackos that are watching that shit on Wednesdays on whatever that channel was. But I was just telling my wife that it's just funny because it's like there are different types of people. You know, the ones that hop on our 3-day on the weekends are the ones that just watch all this garbage reality TV every day and night of their lives, you know?
Well, I don't know. Pretty soon. I mean, just last night we had 280 people on the webinar, and then today we had, I think, almost 200 on. So getting there. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we got one question. Okay, so Shore FC is saying, what if my friend is an agent with life insurance company that offers IBC, would like to allow him to get commission? What concerns are there? Are they all the same? I don't know.
Yeah, I can respond. So it depends on the company. I mean, if they think they can do it, there's a lot of agents that say they can do IBC, and at the end of the day, they don't really understand it, and they might put something together that resembles a policy we would do. This happened to my my good friends, actually, Noah and Christy. And when I reviewed their policy, it was built with a company that we would use, but the agent added a lot of additional riders and stuff in it that add a lot of drag and stuff they frankly just didn't need and didn't quite have the splits right in the way it was designed. So at the end of the day, it functions okay for a banking policy, but not nearly as efficiency as one that we would build. So that's one part. But number two, the policy is what it is. That's easy. You know, I mean, you could take one of ours, somebody can mimic it and sure, but then what do you do with it? And so that's where we offer the ongoing mapping implementation services completely free of charge to all of our clients. And so, you know, we don't charge for any of that ever for the lifetime of you being, you know, owning that policy. We're right there to support you, help you, and strategize with you. And really, that's the most important part, is not only having it, but using it for the right reasons. So for all of that, at the end of the day, if they design it properly, they're not going to make much money on it anyways. So to me, it would make a lot of sense to come to a company like ours. This is all we do, 100%, all day, every day. You're going to get not only the most efficient and properly designed policy, but you're going to get years and years and years of support and help using it. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. But that's what we would offer.
What I'd say is just ask your friend, you know, if they can build the policy, but ask him if he's going to manage it after the policy goes in force. Just say to him, hey, listen, great. You know, I'm glad you can do the policy, but, you know, are you and your company willing to manage my infinite banking concepts, you know, activity and the flow? And are you willing to put together the map and manage my map every single quarter with the changes and provide me cash flow modeling and that service? Because if you're willing to do all that for free and design the policy, let's go. But I bet you they're not.
Yeah.
And if he says he will, like, I'd be very nervous as to whether he's going to fulfill on that. And the worst case scenario, listen, if he's your friend, just have him design it and then send it over to one of us. We'll look at it for free for you and just give you an honest opinion. And just, we're not going to try to rip it apart if he's your friend.
Part of what, because I have a lot of people asking me that question throughout, you know, the various calls I do, and I was talking to someone today, and I said, here's a quick way to get to the bottom of this. Ask them what they do with their policy with infinite banking. If they're not using it and they're not implementing it, then you got to go find someone that is doing it. Find a practitioner that can help you. So there's a lot of people that say, yep, I can set that up. Yeah, they can create a life insurance policy, but can they teach you, just like Chris was saying, can they teach you how to do it? And are they doing it? If they're not doing it, the big question is why not?
It's a good one.
Good point. That is
All right,
really good.
Ron is asking, Ron is asking, is there a mandatory waiting period before opening a second policy? I have stocks in a litigation that could become available at any time.
No, not at all.
And actually, Ron, so to that point, if you've just opened a policy and then you want to open a second one, there is a benefit to doing it within a certain window, because the medical you took for the first policy, right? Am I correct in thinking that you get to skip? It's almost like a little fast pass at Disneyland. You get to skip part of the medical and you just get to do your next policy. So there is actually a benefit to it. All right. Mark Hall is saying earlier today, Chris mentioned the book, The Power of Zero, where the author David McKnight talks about using IULs for a LIRP, life insurance retirement plan. Is it possible to use a specially designed whole life IBC policy instead? Yeah, it's called SLURP, right?
Yeah. So I do want to take that one. Like, I love the book Power of Zero. I've read it. It's a damn shame that book is pretty much just a sales funnel for his IUL business. But, you know, and also too, I want to give props to Chris Kirkpatrick. He's a friend of ours. He ripped him apart recently on YouTube. It's comical to watch how bad he tore him apart. But here, I'm actually giving you something right now in the chat. So this is a video. It's a bit old, a bit dated. I should probably redo it, but it literally shows. So he calls it LIRP. I've been in this industry 20 years. LIRP is nothing new. Like back in the day, Stephen and I don't know if Stephen did it, at Ameriprise, but when I was at New York Life, we had a product called SLURP. It was a concept, not a product. SLURP, Supplemental Life Insurance Retirement Planning. He just drops the S, the supplemental part, but it is supplemental. It's not a primary retirement. So that video I just put up literally shows how you can use a specially designed whole life to practice exactly what he's talking about with the LIRP, but using a whole life instead, which is a lot more stable. I have nothing any more good that I can say about IULs. And kind of like Chris Kirkpatrick has gone on a journey and a mission, very difficult one, to literally bring the truth about IULs. And he's taking a lot of crap for it and fighting a lot of battles. But I would join him in the battle, because they are literally in my opinion, one of the most toxic, missold, and misrepresented products that has ever hit the life insurance industry. And it's going to backfire terribly for a lot of people that are buying IULs. But I love that you mentioned the book. You mentioned that he's an IUL guy, but then you redeemed yourself and said, can I do this with whole life? So that video is for you, man. I want to play the Dumb and Dumber part where he's like, and then you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself.
All right. Janet is saying, do you wonderful people ever set one-on-one with people to help them put all of this together? I have property and money in Vanguard, and I think my accountant is making more than us. She thinks the stock market is going to be just fine, is the rest of her comment.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. When do you want to talk, and who do you want to talk to? I mean, I'm probably not the right one, just because I'm never available too much to talk, but I mean, Craig would be great to talk to about that. Steven would be great to talk to about that. I mean, yeah, Janet, whoever you want to talk to. I mean, we're here for you.
All right, perfect. Do you want to put the calendar in? You want to do, Craig, do you want to put your email in there or something?
Yeah, I can't type in, but if you want to put my email out there, that's fine.
Craig at the Money Multiplier. Correct?
I don't mean to say this, but your CPA should be fired. Like, your CPA has no business.
It's her, oh yeah, it is her CPA, her accountant. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, accountant. Stock market's going to be just fine. Wow. Steven, what do you think about that?
What's your definition of fine?
Fine, right? It's going to be just fine, right? Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to see here. It's going to be just fine.
Okay. So, Monica was saying, random question, does annuity do something similar for a bank? Is it the same concept since it usually has life insurance? I could be completely off base.
It's okay, Monica. Yeah, a little off base here. An annuity is nothing that has to do with life insurance. It's just they're just sold, and issued by life insurance companies. So there's no life insurance inside of an annuity. There is a death benefit, but the death benefit is just the value of your account, or the stated value of your account. So it's a totally different vehicle. Annuities are a tax-deferred vehicle used for retirement planning or deferred savings. So there is absolutely zero similarities. There is zero correlations between what we do with whole life and IBC and an annuity, and neither one works even remotely the same. Happy to, I could do a video, I could cover it, in one of the trainings if it's something you really want. But if you like what we teach about IBC, just know that an annuity is the farthest thing from what you can use or would want to use. But your advisor would probably love to sell you an annuity, because the commissions on those things are pretty darn good.
Okay. Jimmy is asking, is Money Multiplier searching for more agents to add to the team? I have my life insurance license, and I am currently working with MM to get my first policy. But for my future policies, I would like to set up my own and help my family set up theirs as well.
This is for Janet.
I like Jimmy's photo. That's pretty cool. I don't know what he's holding there, but that's a good picture. But this is fine, Janet. It's fine. House is on fire. It's burning down. It's fine. I got my coffee. It's fine. Nothing to see here.
I have that sticker on my computer.
Stock market's gonna be fine. All right, Steven, but let's actually get serious. Sorry. Talk about Jimmy's question, because this is right up your alley, man.
Oh man. All right. So no, we are not searching for more agents, but we are always happy to have a conversation of what that could look like if you're practicing infinite banking in your own life and you would like to, share it with people. I will say, if you're looking to do it just because, you want to do it for yourself and maybe like a couple family members, it's not worth it at all. But, even if you already have your license, but if you're looking to really pursue this as a means to, help other people and, eventually start generating, maybe a little bit of income on the side for yourself, then absolutely we can talk with you about what that would look like. So hopefully that answers the question. I can put my email in here too if anybody wants to chat about that.
This is a good question. So, Dorothy's saying we had a very nice experience with Bo. How do we post that in PMC? Should we do it in the forum? Also, we have not been able to upload our brochure in our profile. I would say for now, it would not hurt to post in the forum. I think like personal reviews or like profile reviews is something that's coming down the line. But I think sharing some kind words in the forum would mean all the difference. And I will find out about uploading a document to the profile.
Great. Yeah. Dorothy, it's funny, quick story. Like I was looking at a deal that Bo had up, and because I was so busy, I dragged my feet a little bit, and Dorothy had seen the deal, just completely unrelated, and they ended up funding the deal for Bo. Bo is definitely a rising star on Private Money Club. I every time I see a deal up, I inquire, and he's always like, "Oh, it's already funded. Sorry." I'm like, dude. Sometimes I almost want to be like, I created this and I can't even fund your deal. But I'm kidding. He's just he's a good borrower. Really.
Yeah, I really liked being able to interview him, and I like asked the question of like, what do you like? Because some people connect, through something besides just borrowing and lending, like a hobby, like how we know Aaron Cofer is a car guy and he loves Prince, you know what I mean? So you can kind of get to Aaron's heart through that. And Bo is just like, I am just so focused on work right now. And like, he's like 20 something years old. So like, that's got some longevity there and a really good connection to make. All right. JP is saying, Chris, piggybacking off of Philip Wells' comment, can you do a whiteboard regarding family trust and infinite banking maybe next week?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I probably don't do it enough just because I don't consider myself an expert in it. I use it. So like, I just want to be clear before I do a training on it. I just want you to know it's not something I sell. It's not something that, I'm an expert in. It's just something I use. So I have the knowledge up to what I've done with it so far. But what I've done with it is literally the pimple on the elephant's butt in terms of what can be done with it. So as long as you're okay with that, GP, I'm happy to show you kind of what I'm doing with mine. And then if it's something you're interested in, I can refer you over to the people that set mine up. I could help you any way you need.
Great. And then Damon was asking Jimmy if his profile picture is a 40 ounce. Just kidding.
Kind of looks like it, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Pina colada. That's funny.
But yeah, I think that's it as far as questions go.
Oh, that was good. We had like 68 people on. That was fantastic. I love this program. I like it when there's like a whole bunch of us on here. Just with the travel, it was just hard this week. But you guys brought the good questions, and you guys brought a lot of things for us to laugh about, which I think each of us needed. Right before right before we kind of kicked off, me, Steven, and Shauna were talking about a topic that wasn't a laughing topic. That was definitely kind of had us in like that slumber, pissed off mode, and all of you brought us back up, and that's always the case. We can all be in a bad mood day in and day out and have a rough day, but one of our clients sends over a testimonial or just says how we're helping change their life, and then all of a sudden it just, the bad day just goes away and we're just reinvigorated. And Steven mentioned to me the other day, I was having a really rough day, and he's just like, I just got off the phone and I just heard about how we're from a client, how we're changing their lives. And they described it, and he's just like, you need to get on these calls more. I'm like, no, you just need to tell me what these people are saying so that I can kind of feed off of your excitement. Because he literally was just on cloud 9 when he got off of that call the other day. And we all deal with that, and we couldn't deal with that. And you guys don't know the impact you have on us. I mean, you're always telling us about the impact we have on you, but what you don't know is when you tell us your story of how what we're teaching you or what we're doing changes your life, helps your family, or puts you in a better situation, it brings us up to another level. And I don't think we ever say that enough, but I wanted you all to know that, since there's 65 of you on here, that's 65 people that heard the truth about what you do for us. So for that, thank you. And I'm sure that thank you goes for everybody on this team. Well, that being said, folks, since we answered all your questions, Sean, did you have something you want to say on that?
Well, I was going to say, actually, can we play, like, Steven, can you play this, like, just testimonial from Money Tank? Because what Chris was just saying, I just put it in the chat. Like, I don't know if you can, like, screen share and play it. But last Thursday, I think we got this video, and it just, everybody's energy is just so amazing, and it just is really cool. So I don't know if you could play that. As far as what this means for all of us. Love you guys so very much.
The knowledge here has been fantastic.
I wish that this had been available to me 50 years ago.
Oh my goodness, the speakers were incredible.
Just when you think you know a lot, you come to something like this and you realize how little you know.
I've learned a lot from how to make my own money work better, how to utilize other people and their money to buy real estate, invest in real estate, and then also great information about how to protect our assets.
Every time I come to one of these events, I always walk away with some gold nuggets.
This knowledge that we get here, it's going to live with you forever.
The best part about it is the networking. The way we began in the morning, where you sort of line up the lenders and the borrowers, and then we sort of did a speed dating in the beginning, begins with that connection, and we build it from there.
Just never know where the conversations and opportunities might go. Being here today, there's been at least half a dozen to a dozen potential opportunities that might help our business grow mutually both ways. It's a win-win situation.
I've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars already in the first day that I've been at this event.
I've met so many people from different states, and it's great fun and like-minded business people that want to do the same thing.
Everybody here wants to make a win-win deal for each other.
Being in the environment of live interaction with like-minded people, I mean, you can't put a price on that.
I'm a very kind of keep to myself introvert. Just being a part of this community has made me come out of that box. They're so welcoming, and it's like a family. I'm pretty excited where this is going to take me in the future, and I would say don't miss the next one.
I encourage people who may be doing something as a day job to really think about what their life would look like if they did not have to have that day job, to do something that will bring you income outside of all of that effort. This is the way to do it.
There's all different type of deals that you don't know about. And if you come to these events, there's things that you're going to not see on YouTube. You got to get in person, live.
If you're sitting on the fence and you want to be a doer, you need to do and get in this room, because everything that you see online is what they're showing you here to the next level.
If you can make yourself better in any way, then what's a couple $100 to come to an event?
Time is your biggest enemy. You need to take action now.
Get uncomfortable and do it. I mean, just buy the ticket.
You need to do this now.
Take the time, take the money, and invest in yourself.
Join Private Money Club. I have funded hundreds of thousands under 90 days. No cap.
I want more of these events. Can we do them every week?
I love that. And I saw Nathan Bird is in the chat, and he came via Sean Finnegan. So shout out Nathan and Sean as always. And Tiffany, you guys, I like that whole video, like just seeing that all put together. It was just so fun. I just loved it so very much.
Well, I mean, heck, after that, I mean, you might as well put the link for PMC's next Money Tank, August 4th and 5th, and give them a discount. You might as well put that in the chat, since you just went all out and just played that video. So, folks, you guys, hopefully we'll meet some of you out in Raleigh, North Carolina at the next Money Tank event, which is August 4th and 5th. We'll give you a discount because you're part of this crew. But I want to hit these last couple of questions while Donna's typing.
PMC 300?
Mm-hmm.
Is it PMC? Yeah, okay.
I got it.
All right, Shauna, what's J10 looking for?
Trying to capture IBC at age 40 versus 41. Not sure if it makes much of a difference with pricing, but would lose first year in paying down debt since I would be funding the policy.
It's buying back age. From 40 to 41, I don't think it makes a huge difference. It definitely would make a difference. I mean, the difference between being 40 and the difference between being 41, it's a slightly lower cost of insurance on the policy. I don't know as if it's a huge deal. And if it means giving something up to do it, I wouldn't worry about buying back the age, but you could. And would it help? Yeah. Nickels and pennies, man. Nickels and pennies.
All right, awesome. There's one more question, I think, so far. If you receive $2,000 per month for the next 5 years as a death benefit from a deceased family member, would you retrieve all of those funds and place it in a policy for $2,000 per month in a policy?
No question. No question at all. 100%. I wouldn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, because likely that's also like tax, like that's after tax, right? I don't know. Because it's
That's
death.
all tax-free money. Yeah, it's a when a death benefit pays out, you have like different options you can take. You can take it in a lump sum. This is a 5-year payout, which sometimes you get a little bit more, or maybe a little bit of interest on it, and that sounds like what they did. But no, it's all tax-free.
That's awesome. Well,
yeah, very awesome.
And
awesome. Lost somebody that you cared about,
exactly.
but awesome that they cared enough to actually set something up to make sure that their next generation could live better and do more.
Yes, it would really probably make them feel very great in the afterlife, for sure, that you're doing the best thing that you can. Leanne is saying, how do you use the HELOC along with IBC? I do know that Joe hopped off. He's Mr.
Craig's an expert in this too, though.
Mr. HELOC. Yeah. So, I mean, Joe and I talk about this stuff quite a bit. And hey, Leanne, good to see you out there. So there's a couple things you can do with your HELOC. That could be the thing that you take your money out of your house, you use that to fund your policies. That could then go into, say, a private money club deal. There's times when it makes sense just to take that HELOC money and go do private money club directly. So based on the arbitrage, the numbers, it may make sense just to take the money out of the HELOC and do a deal, or you can run that through a policy and then go to the deal. I know sometimes what Joe will do is he'll take money out of his HELOC, put it in a policy, and pull it right back out of the policy. So what I personally do with mine is I use it to fund my policies, and then I look at my HELOC as well as the policies as just a warehouse of money. So you have a job to do, you go to the warehouse, which drawer am I pulling the money out of? So you have some flexibility. It just really depends on the arbitrage and how your money's flowing. If you want to jump on a call, we can chat more about it, Leanne.
Awesome.
I have a question.
Well, it looks like
just kidding.
go ahead.
No, it's a joke. It's a rhetorical question. I don't know. I got a notification that, so I have a Capital One credit card, and it's like, your email's been on the dark web. How the hell do you get off of the dark web is what I would like to know. Like it says like my email's been compromised on the dark web.
It's impossible.
So I can't do anything. Who's got me?
Yeah. JP said surrender whole life policy. Are they usually available to purchase? I think is what they're saying. We have literally, and I'm not kidding you, a list, a bona fide list of people waiting to buy policies when any of you decide you want to surrender your IBC policy. So when people surrender or contact us about surrendering their policy, we kind of laugh. We're like, you want to give this thing up because you think something's better or you think something's not working. And there's this giant list over here of people that literally want to buy your policy. So like, you sure you want to give this up? Because you're never going to get it back. But so I guess, JP, if you're looking to buy a policy, you can contact Hannah at themoneymultiplier.com. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, get on the list and tell her like up to what amount are you looking to pay for a policy and how much do you want to fund per year. And if they come up and, it's just first come, first serve, then yeah. And if somebody doesn't take it, then it goes down to the next. We don't see a lot of them getting surrendered. I mean, maybe a little bit more right now just because of the turbulence in the economic condition and because all these jackasses out there pushing these IULs, lying to people. But outside of that, we don't really see too many surrenders.
Yeah, but I think JP must have been on the webinar earlier when you were talking about how Larry buys the policies.
Yeah. That's what I mean, though. If he wants to get on the list, he just emails Hannah at HANNAH at themoneymultiplier.com and just tell her you want to be put on the list to buy policies people are surrendering, and she'll put you on there.
All right. Awesome. All right, that's it for today. I hope to see you guys in North Carolina for Private Money Club Money Tank. We talk about infinite banking. We talk about self-directed IRAs. We talk about private money lending and real estate, taxes, all the things. It's super fun.
Well, like I said earlier, folks, like, it means a lot to us that you're all here. It means a lot to us that now the number's at 78. Unfortunately, this is where we have to go. So if we had a little jingle that we could say where we have to go, we would. But I'm going to leave you with this jingle.